Welcome everyone to another episode of Computer History from us here at Digital Collection. In this episode I want to talk about a new addition to our collection, which is this IBM XT clone computer produced in Netherlands by a company called Vendex. The computer itself is called HeadStart Explorer. It has like an interesting shape and some interesting characteristics from both software and hardware point of view that makes me want to talk about it. I got it in a pretty rough condition, not necessarily like it was mistreated, but for a computer which was launched in 1989, it got a lot of dirt and grime and so on. So I disassembled it. As you can see, I took all the plastic pieces apart. I then washed them with just warm water. I got rid of the rust, and I changed the battery, which was this small 3.6 volt battery, which luckily enough has not leaked, but it didn't have any charge anymore, of course. And there's a new battery inside it, and the computer works. So let's talk about it. Well, what is it? Well, it was released in 1989, like I said, by a Dutch company called Vendex, and it was obviously an entry-line computer because if you think about what was available in the end of the 80s, Intel already released the 8386 processor about 2 years before that, and companies like Compaq and even IBM already had computers out there which had the 8386. So to launch a computer that just has an 8088 processor, it's a little bit backwards. It's kind of halfway between a portable and the desktop. It's obviously a desktop computer, but it can be carried around. The keyboard flips up like this. It used to have a case that goes on top of it, and the monitor will stay on top of that. It has some interesting both hardware and software characteristics. So I want to talk first about the hardware side. Like I said, the processor is an 8088 processor, so 16-bit processor, but with 8-bit bus. However, it can run both at the normal 4.77 megahertz, but it also has a turbo mode which doubles the speed, running at 9.54 megahertz, basically almost 10. But at 10 megahertz 8088, even in 1989, it could do quite a lot with. So it wasn't that bad for the time. The bad news is that it only has 512 kilobytes of RAM. Basically half a megabyte, and that again wasn't really that much. Most things require at least 640 kilobytes to run. It has a floppy drive on the side, which is interesting enough, it's actually a 1.44 inch, but it is not, sorry, it's a 3-inch floppy, but it's not 1.44 megabytes as you'd expect. It's only double density, so it's 720 kilobytes, but still okay. And it has hard disk, although my model doesn't, but it had a 40 megabyte MFM style hard disk. So therefore, it was basically like I said, like an XT, but slightly higher hard disk. So instead of 20 megabytes, you get 40. The hard disk apparently used to be very loud back in the day, and also generate a lot of heat, and there is almost not much airflow in here, so this area would become very hot. What can we talk? So from the software point, it has one more thing from the hardware point of view, which is the fact that while the case is fairly small and compact, as you can see, it can be expanded. Right here on top, this plate gets removed like this, and inside here there is a vertical riser for an 8-bit ISA, which can be put horizontally and has an exit in the back if you want, for example, to install a sound card, right, that you need output on. And that actually made it quite interesting, because once you can expand it, you can add things such a better video card, like I said, a sound card, SCSI cards, and so on. Speaking of video capabilities, it can output both CGA, so color, as well as Hercules compatible, so you can do monochrome or color, which is not bad. It supports mouse as well. That's interesting. On the side here, it has a mouse port. However, it is a proprietary mouse port, similar to like Acorn computer, circular DIN style plug. And I don't have a mouse, unfortunately. And the reason you need a mouse, and we're gonna get to that now, is the software. Unlike other IBM PC machines that would load the DOS from a floppy drive, this one can load DOS from ROM. So it has a DOS 3.1 written in ROM, as well as a GUI application. So the machine boot, and we'll show that later, it boots into a GUI that you can operate with the mouse, which is actually quite nice. That you can launch applications, you can launch games. It has a calendar, calculators, and so on. Obviously, booting from ROM, it's fast, right? So the machine would, at least for the time, would boot fairly fast. And it launches you in a graphical user interface where you can load the floppy or the hard disk. It can also boot from the floppy too. There's a key combination that you press, and then it'll load the operating system from the floppy drive rather than the one in the ROM. So let's turn it on and see what the machine can do. Alright, so now that you saw how the machine looks once you turn it on, that's about it really. I do think this is a fairly interesting machine, not necessarily unique, but it has both the shape, the folding keyboard, the size, and obviously the fact that it comes with a GUI in ROM. It makes it a fairly, if not unique, an interesting machine. Now, it did come late in the market, like I said, 1989. This was already out of date by half a decade. It wasn't released in Europe, so it didn't really sell that much. And there are not many of them around, but they were exported in US, and you can find them here if you look on sites like eBay and so on. And if you can get one that still has the cover, the monitor, and specifically the mouse and the hardware, which are harder to find, then you are even more lucky, better than us. So with that being said, thank you again for watching. See you in the next episodes, and have fun.